The House of Lords are finally doing something useful. I know. Who would have thought? So we know the whole situation with Huawei in their 5G program in this country, in the UK, and how Theresa May initially agreed to get China involved with our infrastructure. And Boris Johnson initially also gave the green light, but then he started to do a bit of thinking. He said we could review into this whole situation, which is good news, but it's still ongoing. Huawei's 5G is still on the table, and now we have the House of Lords actually planning to block this. I know the same guys who have always been problematic, especially with Brexit. They're doing something useful. So well done, guys. So a number of big lords are actually, including obviously, just like how we had a number of Conservative MPs and the backbenchers who made a move against the government to vote against this. And now we've got some lords doing the same thing. So this is brilliant. So this is obviously just came out, and this is an ongoing issue. So we'll be updating you guys. For those obviously who don't know, the problem with Huawei is that it's not your typical private company. They are directly linked to the Chinese state and the Communist Party. They've been quite robust and ruthless with their own staff. For example, they're not allowed to trade in Iran because, trade anything or sell into Iran if any of their products has links to America, and they've been doing that. And a number of the employees were discussing this over a group chat, and they all got arrested. So yeah, these are not nice people, and I'm glad that the Lords are actually doing something about this. Now, we'll keep you guys posted on this issue, but for now, I want to go to the questions that we have from the members. We got a number of questions from the lockdown situation, Brexit, updates on the cultural Marxist battle that we have. So let's go to Maria, who says, "Hi Maya, I guess my question would be, when will this madness end?" I'm guessing she's talking about the cultural Marxist battle. It's just the beginning, unfortunately. And is there any way that we could get Sadiq Khan out with a UK-wide petition? What happens in London affects the rest of the UK. Well, as you know, I'm not Sadiq Khan's biggest fan, and we have to get him out as soon as possible. But do not fall into the same trap as the undemocratic left-wing Rimoni sort of type. We still have democracy. We have to go with the democratic process. We have an election coming up in about 11 months, 10 months. Let's go with that. That's how you get rid of Sadiq Khan, rather than kicking him out right now with some sort of petition or something. But I agree with the sentiment. Fred says, is it time that people who are not cultural Marxists to put the same or greater pressure on companies and brands to force them to support our views? Yeah, because we've had all these so-called capitalist brands going with the cultural Marxists, with their politicizing their own brands, their own companies. Of course, I believe in free market, and free market based on free choice and supply and demand. So what happened with Gillette last year or a couple of years ago, when Gillette went woke with a TV ad, they've lost a lot of customers and a lot of revenue and profit. So this is how you essentially fight back. And if people are upset with Hulu or Netflix, then they could go to a different company, like, I don't know, Amazon Prime. I don't know what Amazon done. They're probably gone woke as well. So Alex says, hi Maya. On Sunday, the official BLM Twitter account tweeted loudly and clearly that they stand with Palestine. And yeah, they went on a rant against the people from the Jewish faith, that they don't matter. Sort of thing that you would expect to hear from Jeremy Corbyn or Ken Livingstone. Yes, so this is the movement that is supposed to be pro-equality, especially based on race. No, not really. They're gonna blame certain people as usual. This is just weird because, for example, Palestine, if these people go there, they're not gonna survive. They won't like you. So yeah, this is stupid, absolutely stupid. And there's now a massive backlash. They're losing a lot of support now from a lot of ordinary people who thought this is a good cause for some reason. So David Morrison says, hi Maya, there has been so much emphasis on getting a deal with the EU. My question is why? The EU are not going anywhere for now anyway. Can we just revisit in the future? Well, I mean, we're not desperate. This is just part of what we agreed when we signed the withdrawal agreement. There's a process of a year to negotiate, and we have only a couple of months left to go. And diplomatically and politically, it's a smart move for the UK to remain in these negotiations. Even though we say, I mean, as a WTO Brexiteer myself, it's, ideally you would say, "Oh, just walk away, like don't even negotiate." But when it comes to tactics and politics with diplomacy, you kind of need to basically stay there and make the EU, make them look like they're the bad guys, essentially. Because if you leave now, they're going to go to the whole world. They're going to go to WTO and tell everybody in the world that this is how the UK negotiate. They will say that to Canada, Australia, all the other countries, South Korea, that do not negotiate with the UK because they don't understand good faith. So for the sake of our reputation, we need to remain in these negotiations, but stay strong and actually do not give in to these weird demands that Brussels have. Next question. Watermill films. Hi Maya, I wrote a letter on what you think about the Cecil Rhodes and the statue. Oxford want to take it down and also change the street names and everything has to be removed. Should we take these figures down? Absolutely not. So one thing is, the whole debate with the statues, people on the left are saying that, remove them, put them in museums. Don't fall for that. Because the next thing they're going to do, if we move all the statues to museums, they're going to go to museums and say, now we need to remove these statues from museums. They have a weird agenda. They want to bring down everything that we have in the West. The Western civilization, so do not bring down anything. These are all part of our history and are part of our journey, and that's how we learn from history. Mary Wallace, the law in this country makes everyone equal, regardless of race, color, religion. Now we see a glimpse of what it is to be without it. Why aren't the government doing anything to stop this? Oh yeah, Mary's right. It should be the job of the government to keep the country stable. And they've been very complacent because they think if you just allow a small group of idiots to come on the streets for one day, they'll shout and scream and go back home. Like what they used to do with their trade unions. It's not the same because these people have now infiltrated and dominated academia, the media, everywhere. Now companies, corporations, they're not going anywhere. You need to actually essentially fight back and get your values back. So otherwise, it's just nonsensical. The government has to do something about this long term. Christopher says, so the big question on everyone's mind is, what will your first drink in a pub be after the lockdown? I've already started my drinks anyway. I'm a beer drinker. Otherwise, apart from that, a good gin and tonic. But my first drink will be beer as usual. Kenneth Smith, if you were London mayor, what would be in your manifesto? Well, I'm not the mayor of London. And if I were the mayor of London, there's a lot to change. I am planning to, over the next year until the election, to actually come up with all these the ideas that I have and people around me have to propose, obviously, as an alternative package. But there are a number of things that you have to do. Obviously, the main three areas are policing, law and order, transport, and housing. With the housing, the main political parties, Lib Dems, Tories, Labour, always come up with the same random stuff. Like, obviously, we need to build more houses. And some of them say, yeah, let's build on TfL land, or let's do this. Let's build more tower blocks. It's just nonsensical. With the police, the Tories say, hire more police. The Labour say, hire more police, but then they're going to cut them. The policing needs actual reform. It's not necessarily just about the numbers. You need to completely change the way the London Metropolitan Police work. They get rid of the bureaucracy, get rid of all those weird divisions for online presence for the police. You need more frontline of officers, and you need them to be more robust. When it comes to transport, the TfL needs to be completely reformed. There's a number of things, and the main thing that I have as an idea is to completely shake up the way the City Hall as a building works. City can't think moving City Hall from London Bridge to East London is fixing everything. No, it's not. You're just moving the building. Anyway, I could rant about this for hours. So let's see. Please discuss Scotland's current SNP government stance on independence from the UK, because I cannot believe why the people want to leave the UK but stay in the EU. Yeah, the SNP are an interesting case because it's primarily their agenda is just to be anti-British and anti-English, anti-Westminster. That's all they care about. There's nothing else in this. They're also just using the European Union as a tool, as an example, because they're nationalists, but not in a good way, because they're also globalists in a sense that they want to be independent from the UK but want to be dependent on the European Union. They are socialists, so that's a terrible idea. The ideas that they have to become independent, they have no clue what they're going to be doing with the currency. You cannot keep sterling. They don't know what they're going to do with the border. Are you going to build a wall? They don't know what they're going to do with the citizens and everything. So the SNP are irrelevant. The SNP are losing support. We've had some recent polls that show that the percentage of Scots wanting to leave the UK is going up by 2 points. Yeah, the margin of error is always 3%. Nothing's happening, and it happens every few years. If there's a referendum again, if the timing is right, we're going to win anyway. So don't forget, the SNP is not Scotland. Most people in Scotland don't like the SNP. Now, this is all we have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've discovered if you have YouTube Premium, you can actually become a member on our channel for free for the next 48 hours. There's an offer for 48 hours. Basically, if you go on the link I have in the description, or just go on youtube.com/myotc/join, when you click on it, if you're a YouTube Premium member, it actually shows you the option free. Join for free. For the next 48 hours, you get all the benefits that members get, including obviously the Q&As and everything else that we do. So check it out. And also, do not forget, we have a week left to go to finish our new merch, the new t-shirts, Defund the BBC. The link again is also in the description. Get it sorted. I think, yeah, for the next 10 days or a week, we're going to have this. And then we'll end it and continue with the next campaign, because what we have against the mainstream media is going to be going. We started this back in January, and we're not going to stop until we get what we want. So I'm myotc. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a new video.